And hello there, this is Kenny once again with part 3 of my video series of my ultimate guide for installing Alien vs. Predator 2 and Primal Hunt on your computer. And in part 3 of this video, I'm going to go over technical support. Basically, if you're having trouble with your games, how to get them working, if they're not working, what to do, how to optimize them, and so on. So this is going to be all Q&A type of stuff. Bear with me, it's a long guide. I'm going to go through them. You could skip ahead to the parts that concern you. But to get going on this is like a follow along to a guide I wrote, a written guide, basically with this whole series. If you go back to the AVP2 AIO page, again, all the links will be in the description. If you scroll down, you'll see right here in red, please read the ultimate guide link below. You would click here and it will take you to this ultimate guide page that I made. If another way you can get to the guide, if you go to my website and you go to the frequently asked questions, you scroll down and where it says where you can get the game, here are the guides. Now I have the guide in 2 versions. There's the text version on my website, which is the better version. But if you don't want to use that one, you can use the forum version. This is the version I originally wrote. And here it is. And it's not as good because there's no table of contents, so I'm not going to be using that. Here is the better one, has the table of contents. So basically you find what your issue is, you click on the link, you probably see it in like a cyan blue color. I have it in purple because I clicked it already, but you find what your issue is and it'll take you to the part of the guide that has that issue, and it'll give you an answer or a solution to what to do. And then if you ever want to come back up to wherever you are in the guide, you click the little orange arrow, pops up to the top, and you're back at the table of contents. So the only thing here you should really read if you're looking at this guide is number 1, because it gives you the basic setup of like what you should do to get the game working. And I already covered these parts in part 1 and 2. It's basically where to install the game, what updates you should add. Again, the official updates are in Master Server Patch. I covered that already. And then try playing both games. If you get crashes or glitches, refer to the fixes below. And then once you play the games, you could try out a bunch of mods and maps. I'll cover that stuff in the next video. So I'm just going to go through these solutions. So follow along, find the part of the guide that concerns the issue that you have. Again, I have a donate link here. It's optional. I won't hold it against you if you don't donate. This is only because some people ask and I help them with something and they ask, hey, how can I donate? Well, here it is. So if you want to donate, there it is. And here are the links to all my pages, my website, and AVP2 Discord. I'll cover that in the next video. So again, I did all this stuff with installation already. So I'm going to skip right ahead to the first real issue that most people get. Again, online multiplayer is Master Server Patch. Game won't start. That's usually the first issue people get. So click it. Here we go. So the game isn't starting. So I'm just going to narrate above this. So if you have anything that pops up where there's like an error message saying it's a missing file or the game can't find some file, you're basically going to have to do a reinstall. Usually it's because there's a corrupt installation. If you don't get that, some people have tried renaming avp2.exe to avp2game.exe. That usually doesn't do anything from my experience, but I only put it here because some people have said it helps. And again, these are all known solutions that have worked, that I found and others have found. I just compiled it all and tested it out. But usually the number 1 solution to fixing your game is uninstall the whole thing, clean your registry, reinstall the game. But I'll show you how to do that. So there's 2 ways. You could get CC Cleaner, Clean Master, any other registry cleaning software. If you don't want that, because it's usually kind of bloatware, they may have some like adware in it or something. If you don't want to do that, you can always run regedit, your registry editor. So just type in Windows, open registry editor, regedit, open, and I already have it here. So I don't have to hunt for it, fortunately. So you'll just want to take this right here, which is the registry folder path, if you will. You copy it and then you paste it right in here. Hit enter and you'll find it. Monolith Productions, Alien vs. Predator 2. If you scroll down, you'll also see the Primal Hunt one, Third Law Interactive, Alien vs. Predator 2. If you want to clean your registry, you don't want to edit any other folders. You just want to touch the folder that's Monolith Productions. I mean, if you only have AVP2 installed, that's the only Monolith game, I would suggest just right-clicking here, delete, and I'll delete everything. If you have like other games like No One Lives Forever, any other Monolith games, then just delete the Alien vs. Predator 2 folder, and that'll do it. For Third Law, it'd be the same thing. There's not a lot of Third Law games, maybe like a KISS game or something like that, but you would just right-click, delete. If you have other Third Law games, just delete the Primal Hunt one, and that'll be it. So this is after you uninstall the game. You delete the registry file of the game. You don't have to do it for both. Only if Primal Hunt's the issue, don't do it for AVP2. Just do it for Primal Hunt. If it's only AVP2, you just do it for AVP2, not Primal Hunt. You get what I'm saying? So you just delete that registry file, then you reinstall the game. You run the installers as I showed already in part 1 of this video series. And then that should fix that issue. And now if you're having this issue, and I'm getting this often, sometimes the game loads, sometimes it doesn't. I'll try it. Again, check the options, everything's okay. Hit play. Game launch. I just tried it like 5 minutes ago and it wasn't working. Let's see if I try it again. So sometimes it's working for me, sometimes it's not. And as you can see, this time it's failing. And it's actually frozen. So I'm gonna actually try closing this out. Oh boy, bear with me. And where is it? Client MFC. So that remove that. So an easy fix for this is to get this D input file. I'm gonna save it to my desktop right here. And I'm gonna install the game. Not install the game, excuse me, install the file. Now you'll see my folder path is a little different now because I've transferred over a lot of backup files I have into here. But to get this game working, again, you could read the README, see what it does. This is just something that fixes the game to launch correctly, I should say. So just take the file, you drag it right into the AVP2 folder wherever you install the game, and that's it. So we'll try it again, see if it works. And it launched. So that should fix that. I won't really run into many more issues. This usually does the job. You'll find this more an easy fix on modern computers, not so much older computers. So that'll do that. Next thing, AVP2 crashes when loading a single player mission. You usually see this. This happens usually with when the game loads fine, but then you load up single player, and as soon as the mission loads, it will just crash. So, well, there is a fix for this. You just download this file, and I haven't experienced this issues personally, but others have. Again, you could read the README file, see what it does. Now, this is a res file. I haven't explained this yet. Res files are basically an archive file. Think of it like a locked folder, and you can't really open it unless you use a program like Dragon Unpacker or other modding software. But the way you would do this, and I recommend this to all players, so you don't want to have a lot of res files in here to clutter up your base game, because it'll just become messy and you won't know which was the original, which was not. So the solution I always tell people is make a folder for all your custom res files. The one I always recommend is the folder called custom. So if you don't have it, you could just right click in this folder, click new folder, and you can name it whatever you want. You could call it reses or like cool stuff, whatever you want to call it. One word is preferable, so you don't have anything with spaces. And here's where you load in all your mods and custom maps and stuff like that. You would just take this, drop it in here. I'm not going to do it because I don't need the file. And then when you launch AVP2, you go to, I did it a little too fast, you go to options. And in the command line, this is where you load all your res files. So if this was in the custom folder, you would run this command, -res custom, or you could put whatever. If you had it in a folder called like, I don't know, cool stuff, it would be like that. You know what I mean? So I'm keeping it custom, and it's not case sensitive, so lowercase, uppercase doesn't matter. Res custom, and then you just want to type the same name of the file. So it's avp2 spfix, vp2 spfix, and I can't type, .res, and you need to have .res. If there's even a single error in this, if it's not matching the file name or the folder name, and you don't have the space, you don't have the dash, you don't have the .res, the file will not load. So just make sure you did it right. A lot of people have, it doesn't work. Well, you got to make sure you do it right. And then you always have to check this box. This will make sure that it runs everything in the command line. If it's unchecked, it won't run. If it's checked, it will run. And if you have multiple res files, you can just space it out, and you can do res custom / name of file, whatever it is, .res, and you can run, if I remember correctly, it's at least 7. So if you have like one of your text files in the base game is corrupted, maybe it might be shortened, but that would be it. You would hit OK, hit play, and that should solve it. I'm not using it because I have no problem launching single player, so I'm set. Come back to this. Next item on this list, Primal Hunt keeps crashing. So if the game keeps crashing after you install master server patch, what you want to do is download this file, and I'll show you what it is real quick. Save it to my desktop. Here we go. You would open up the file. Again, there's a README. Check out what it says. Here it's a DLL file, and what you would do is open up your Primal Hunt folder. And again, I copied over my my backup of the game, so it looks a little different from what you might see, but you would just take this and drag it and drop right in here into the base folder. My game already runs good, so I don't need to do that, but that's how it would fix. You would start the game like normally, and then you should be good. Good to go. Next one on the guide. If your keyboard controls are not working, so there's multiple reasons why this could be. Sometimes when you start the game, maybe like your mouse isn't working, just go into the in-game options, set your mouse button. And I'm not saying the mouse movement, I'm just saying like your left click and right click aren't working. I have that a few times when I installed the game. The other thing you can do is reset your controls. I'll show you how that is right now. Just make sure everything's okay. Game launches. So when you get to the main menu, you go to your profile. You go to the options. You go to controls. And see my standard controls here. These are normal controls. You click restore defaults, and it will restore the original controls. As you see, the mouse button that I mentioned earlier, for whatever reason, it doesn't use the left and right buttons. So if you see that, just remember you may have a mouse buttons you have to reconfigure. Again, how to do that, you just left click on whatever's here and then click with whatever key you want for any of the items. You could do that for all the species, shared, etc. Again, there's mouse controls you can adjust here. There's all these different things you can configure. But that's basic for mouse controls. I'm going to Alt-Tab out because the master server patch makes it easy without crashing. Another thing you can do is create or load another profile. So the way you do that, back in game, you go to Profile. And this is my original profile. So let's say there's a problem with this one. Let's say you had a new profile, or this is your first profile. Let's say something like player 0. You would just go here, create, and you would type in a new profile name. And I'll just put test. And now it's on the new profile. Now when you do that, just keep in mind, it will erase all your save data and whatever you have set for the species campaign missions. It will reset you back to the first mission, but it will also reset your controls. See, now it's back to here when I restored default, but I don't want this one. This is just a test, so I'm gonna delete. I want my Kinkenny profiles to be being used, so I'm just delete test, and here's my main profile. Again, you can back this up. It's in the saves in your save folder. So if you just go here, Usually you'll find a lot of your profiles are here in the profile folder, and then you'll have your game saves here. That's where it is if you want to make a backup, just in case. Then another item you can do is another fix is replace your auto exec file. So your auto exec file has the key bindings for a lot of the controls, and I'm just going to try to find it. Here it is, autoexec.cfg. You can, if it doesn't open right away, you can open it with Notepad. Just right click, open with, click Notepad. I already have it set, so you'll see a lot of graphics settings in here. Usually 1 is on, 0's off. Some of them will go a little higher, like detail level 1, 2, 3, etc. But when you go down, you'll see these are where all the controls are. Add action, and it shows the key bindings on your keyboard, what it does. So you don't have to remember all of this, but what you want to do, if for some reason if it's missing a lot of this data that you see here, like what I'm showing you, you can just restore the original autoexec files. I saved a backup. These are clean autoexec files from a good installation when I installed the game previously, and I saved it as a backup. So you can do the same. So you would just right click, save this to your desktop. You would drag and drop and replace this file. Now, if you already have a good autoexec, you probably don't want to do this, or if you customized it, keep a backup of what you have just in case, so you can restore it if needed. But these are the original autoexec files, and they should be set to 1920 by 1080 resolution. Or let me double check. It would be whatever the screen width is here. Well, I'll show that coming up, so don't worry about that. You'll see that in the next thing. But yeah, it works for both Primal Hunt and AVP2, so that's why there's two. And then the D-input file, that can help with controls. I already showed how to do that. You could try putting that DL file in your AVP2 folder. And then worst case scenario, if nothing else works, reinstall your game. Sometimes I've noticed something where when you're playing the game, the player's head will go up and down, but like rapid crouching, even though you're not pressing any key bindings, just like walking forward on the W key. If you experience that and doing fixes 1 through 4 don't work, you're probably gonna have to reinstall the game. I've had it happen twice. That's how it's been fixed. And remember, clean your registry after uninstalling and then reinstall. So that'll do that. If you get this error, this is the next problem that people encounter. The game starts, but you receive the Client MFC application has stopped working. That can usually happen randomly just from the game crashes. It's not a big deal if you get a game crash. It could be something of like a issue on a map, a custom map, or on a server. There may be an issue. So I would just say restart the game. If you don't keep getting the error, that's just a small one-time occurrence. Ignore it. But if it's something reoccurring, if you haven't already, install Master Server Patch. Try the D-input file again. That's another thing. You can try this little MFC guide that I made. It's on the forum. It just shows some things that may be blocking the game, like your firewall, antivirus, Windows compatibility. You could try run AVP2 and LithTech as admin to do that. And just so you know, AVP2 is the launcher file. LithTech is the actual game engine. So you see I already have it running as admin, but you would just click properties and you could just make sure everything's okay here. But just change it to run as admin. Usually what I'll do is, it's actually right here, run as administrator. And you could set it in the properties to run as administrator all the time if you want. I already have it set. Again, it will look a little different depending on if you're on Windows 11 like I am. You might have 10, 7, whatever, XP, whatever. So just know your Windows settings for that. Again, if you all tab in and out, all these things can crash the game. And Master Server Patch will probably fix all tabbing. So little solutions there. Also, some rare occasions, sometimes on a rare occasion, I'm saying, maybe like some hardware issue you have, but just double check it. And it's like whack-a-mole. That's the last thing I say. Sometimes you just got to figure out what it is. This corresponds with this little guide here. So see what happens. Again, maybe you installed it in a bad location. I just clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Here you go. And again, Windows compatibility, all those things. Same things I said above, just a little more explanation. And then if you get this, the game menus are too small. I already showed you that. I'll just start the game again. When the game launches, splash screen is usually big or whatever resolution you have set already in the game options. But as you see, the menu here is 640 by 480. You may see it differently. You may see it smaller, bigger. It's always full screen. This menu never goes widescreen. Even though my in-game options are 1920 by 1080, when I play a game, and I'll just load a quick map. Let's load this one. You'll see in-game it's full widescreen 1920 by 1080. It's just the menus, they don't resize. Maybe in the future they will if someone makes a mod to update it or to stretch out the menu, but for now, that's it. Back to the guide. Changing the screen resolution. So this corresponds with what I just showed you. Again, master server patch. That's the #1 thing for updating resolution. You can edit the auto exec. I don't recommend it because it doesn't change the field of view. And just, I should really keep this game open, but I'll show you again. So when you go in the in-game options, actually it won't be in, yeah, here it is. Aspect ratio 16 by 9. So when you edit the auto exec file, it actually doesn't let you edit the field of view or the kind of aspect ratio of the game. So you can change the width and the height, and to do that you would just find these values in the auto exec file. I'll just copy it, do a search, and you'll see it here. Now it's already set 1920. The other ones are here. It'll be 1920 for the width and 1080 for the height. There, it's mixed up. It's out of order. Sometimes this happens, but so you can manually edit them where the number key is that I pasted here. Find whatever the screen width is. Put the resolution you want for your system. But again, it won't edit the field of view. Now, master server patch will overwrite this, so it's not really needed. And if you don't want to use master server patch for whatever reason, this is one of the best ways to do it. That it's easy, but it just won't edit the field of view or aspect ratio. I keep saying field of view, aspect ratio. And if you want to go up to like 4K, some real high monitor, high resolution, it's not going to do it. From what I've seen in the past, the max resolution is 2048 by 1536. So there is a workaround to that. Now there are widescreen patches. If you want to use 4K, download this file, the DLL file. You'll download it to your desktop, drag the file, paste it into your AV2 game folder, and that will work. Now there are other widescreen patches. A lot of people use this. You'll see recommendations from like PC Gaming Wiki to use it and everything. These are not compatible with Master Server Patch, even though there's one for Primal Hunt. These are custom launchers. They do edit the screen resolution, but it's going to give you issues with Master Server Patch and playing online. And that's what most people download Master Server Patch for. So just stick with MSP and just use this file if you want more screen resolutions. Maybe MSP will give even higher resolutions in the future and you won't need this, but for now, if you're on Master Server Patch 2.4 for AV2, this is what you would use, this 4K DLL file. So there you go. A few other things here. If your screen is cropped, how do you maximize the game to not be cropped? So that's a Windows issue. You would go into the game and you really want to find LiftTech, that's the game engine, and check the properties, go to compatibility, and make sure there's no thing like DPI settings. You want to disable any custom scaling, or if it's scaling it wrong, you go through this. You don't want any high scaling. I have it all off because it's fine, but just check that. You could also go into your Windows settings and check if you have any scaling options applied to the apps. That's why it would look like. Usually you'll see that if say the game is like here half the screen or half the in-game what do you want to call it? Window is kind of what I'm drawing here, and the rest is like black, all black, and it's not centered. This is your issue. So that's what it is. What I mean by cropped. Something the game isn't centered in the middle of your monitor or resolution. What am I misspeaking like crazy? Not centered in the middle of your screen. That's what I meant. So it's off to the side somewhere. That's what that is. You want to fix the DPI settings. Again, if you want to play windowed and borderless, I just mentioned windowed. I'll show you that now. Right now it's at full screen. Actually, let me do the thing right here to make it easy for you to see. I'm going to lower my resolution. Let's try this, 1280 by 720. So do it like that. And here we go. Whoop. Here we go, back to this. So I'm going to launch the game again, and just to show you how to do it, this works for both AVP2 and Primal Hunt. And I found that it does give performance upgrades sometimes when you run windowed and borderless, or either or. And you type into the command line exactly this, windowed. And you can copy paste actually into this. So if you don't want to type it manually, just copy like I did. And you can also add borderless, but I'm not going to do borderless because I want you to see how it works first. If I show you borderless, you won't see the window. So I'm going to hit play. And look, there you go. It is windowed. So you can do this if you want, if you have multiple monitors, you want to move things around, or if the game's not, you find it crashing a lot. Sometimes this helps players. There's no X to close it out, so you still got to close it out this way. But it does work. I'm going to actually undo that real quick so I don't have it set. Here we go. And you know what? I'm going to show you borderless too, just to show you. Just to show you how it looks. Here we go. Paste, boom, play. There you go, and now the border's gone. So I'm not a fan of borderless unless you're playing in full screen. I have done it for Primal Hunt, and it gave me a nice performance boost in the past, but if it's a smaller resolution, I'm not a big fan of borderless because you can't move the window around, or it can move around well. So that covers that. Here's another issue some people get. If the cutscenes, the dialogue, NPCs, they're playing or moving too fast, what I meant by that is sometimes you'll see people like, it looks like they're on speed or they're moving in fast pace, like not normal. If you see something like that, it's a frame rate issue. So you want to cap the frame rate either on your video card or Windows software. If you have an FPS limiter, some type of software like that, or you can just use Master Server Patch to address it. I'll show you how to do that right now. Here we go, play. I'm going to fix my screen resolution while I'm at it, because I edited it. So bear with me. Get it back to 1920. There we go. So I'll just load a mission real quick. I hit F9. That's another thing. You can just hit F9 out of nowhere and it'll quick load wherever your last quick save was. So here I am in the Marine game. So just to go back out. So where is it? Here we go. So what you want to do is hit this key on your keyboard. It's your title key. If I'm pronouncing it correctly, I always mispronounce it. It's next to number 1 on your keyboard, on the left of number 1, or under the escape key, or right above the tab key. Some players have trouble finding it. That's what it looks like. It's like a little squiggly line. And this will open up the console in MSP in game, and you enter the frame limit 60. So without quotes. So I'll go back. Again, I'm hitting the key, title, whatever you want to call it. I hit the key, the console comes down. This is the console. And I would type frame limit 60 and hit enter. I'm not going to do that because game's running good. I don't want to mess up with anything. And that should fix it. And that's a simple fix. So that covers that. Now, mouse movement. So there's two things on mouse here. One is if your mouse movement is zigzagging. Think zigzag like back and forth, left to right. Or it's just completely uncontrollable. Like you can't walk in a straight line. So the first thing you should do is check the polling rate on your software. Like if you have a Razer mouse, HyperX, whatever, usually has a custom software comes with it. Adjust the polling rate, set it to 125. See if that adjusted. You can also try changing the DPI. That could always be a thing. Sometimes if you're moving way too fast, you might have too high of a DPI. That could be it. Once you do that, check it out, see if it works. If not, try the input file again. I already showed you how to do that. Another thing you can do is try this DI wrapper. It's on Google Archives. Just make sure it still works. Here it is. I found that it doesn't really help often, but on rare occasion it has helped people. Another option is Lithfix. And this is a file made by Hey Jake. And here it is. You would download it here. He has it for a bunch of different games. You can see it for AVP2. He actually mentions AIO and the Primal Hunt. Okay, you could try that. Now that will not work with Master Server Patch, and this has helped a lot of players, but it doesn't work with MSP. If you're still having issues, another thing you could try is another mouse. Maybe it's a hardware issue. You could always try that. And another thing that people get mixed up with this is also if you don't have a mouse look. Sometimes this will actually work for the people who have uncontrollable or zigzagging mouse control. You can try these as well. So mouse look, view up and down. View up is like you're looking up with putting your head up. View down, viewing down, like looking at your feet. If you can't do that, try this into the launcher. You would enter legacy mouse, and I'll just show you again. This, you would paste it, bam, right there. Hit OK, hit play. If it's 1, that means it's on. If it's 0, it's off. You could try 1 and then try 0. Maybe it turns it on and off. Maybe it triggers something to fix it. I'm not going to run it because my mouse works good. For Primal Hunt, it's the same thing, but you would try this, raw mouse 0. It's because it's the 0 console commands through Master Server Patch. You do it like that, hit OK. Remember, always specify these. Check the box off. And I'm not going to run that. So I'm going to disable it. And try each. Hit play, see if it works. If you want to play around, try 0, try 1, try both. Now again, just this for AV2, this for Primal Hunt. Don't combine them. I'm just saying you could change 0 to 1, 1 to 0, see how it works. Now this is the other thing, performance issues. This is an issue I had a lot when I had a laptop running AVP2 and Primal Hunt. So if you get things like texture tearing, pop-ups, black screen vision modes, black screen underwater, when you go underwater, low FPS. I have a video I did on this, a tutorial for DG Voodoo. I'll show you in a moment. But there is a DL file, another one, draw DLL fix. These words, I'm probably saying things wrong, but you can see it. You could try this, drop the file, you pull it out of the zip, drop it into your base folder, see if that works. This hasn't helped a lot of people, but maybe it helps you. Give it a shot. Usually what helps most people is DG Voodoo 2. And I did this video. I'm going to load it up. Here we go. So it doesn't have commentary. It's all before I was using a microphone. So you'll see some glitches where, see how it is? All the glitching. It's how you see all these artifacts, things popping up. You see like, these are the like effects that are coming from the water. They're jumping into the sky. You'll see things like that. You'll see other issues like the vision modes. When you switch from Predator, it turns black. You also get that with the alien, or if you're going underwater. Like you see, I dropped underwater here. I dive into the water and everything goes black. It's all messed up. It's that, oh, you may get an FPS that's like really, really choppy. I'm talking under 30 FPS. With all the artifacts. It's really bad. So this was like very unplayable for me when I had it. So the solution I had was to install DG Voodoo 2. I show you how to install it in this video. It's not that difficult. You just basically go to DG's website, or DG, however it's pronounced, and you download the file. And I could show you real quick his website. And you go to DG Voodoo 2. And there's downloads, and you download whatever is the latest stable version. Now, I will say I did have issues with some of the more recent versions when I was using this. I found this version 2.55.2 worked really good because some of the more modern or newer versions glitch the alien HUD bar. That's the health bar at the bottom of the screen. It shows how much health is left with the alien when playing as alien. So just to install that, you can follow the guide. You just drag and drop the stuff that you need into the folders, and you set it up using this program right here. That's DigiVoodoo 2, and it should fix it. One bad thing about this, while it will make the game run really well in terms of visually, the problem with it is that it can roll back your FPS. Like, it will drop it. I'd say if you have like a 60 FPS, you're going to look at cutting that FPS down in half or more. So it's usually around 30 FPS. But if you have already under 30 FPS, it might be good to use it. This can work for both AVP2 and Primal Hunt, so give it a shot. And again, sometimes he does password protect it, so check if it's this password or wherever he updated it to. I'm not keeping up with it anymore because I no longer use it, so your mileage may vary. And again, for Master Server Patch, it should be already installed. If you have any performance issues, keep bringing it up because it's a fix for almost everything in the guide. You can combine Master Server Patch with DigiVoodoo 2, which I have done. You can run them together. There's no conflict. And another thing I had is the vision mode fix. It's another thing I had. This is a whole video I did. This is how the same thing that I showed you in the DigiVoodoo video where the vision modes weren't working. Well, I made a res file. You could download it off my website. And you install the res file like I showed you earlier. You just put in the custom here and you write it into the launcher, follow the command line that's mentioned in the README guide, and it will fix the vision modes. The only downside of this is, well, it's two downsides. One, it won't work with Master Server Patch, so basically anyone using this would need the same file, and the server would have to run the same file. No one's going to do that, so don't use this if you're planning to play online. And the other thing, it really doesn't fix the vision modes properly like DigiVoodoo. It's basically turning off the flipping of the inversion. That's how like the Predator vision mode, the PredTech vision, it inverts the colors, and it just disables it. But Master Server Patch does the very same thing. Coming back to this, if you run Master Server Patch, there is something you could do in the console. I showed you how to bring up the console earlier. With the FPS, in case you skipped the video, I'll show you again. If you skipped in this video, I should say. So you just go up here. I'll load a quick load. Press F9. So I'm in game. You bring up the console, title key, however it's pronounced, and I'll tab out. Show you what it is again. It's dash invert by bypass. Invert bypass. So you would type invert bypass and hit enter. I'm not going to do it because it works. And that will do the same exact thing that the vision fix file that I made does. I made this before it was included in Master Server Patch. So if you don't like DigiVoodoo, use this. And I mean, unless you still have all the artifact stuff, go back to DigiVoodoo 2 and use that. But if it's just the vision mode stuff, use this. Only use this if for some reason you're like you enjoy suffering and you don't want to use Master Server Patch and you just want to play single player, then use this. One last fix, and this one's a little more complicated. It's Canon Masters D3D7 fix, direct draw, whatever you want to call it. And it's a wrapper. It's another DLL thing you drag and drop into your game folder. And interesting thing about this, it works with the base game, Master Server Patch, DigiVoodoo 2, any mods you run, and he has a settings file which you can edit, and it has a bunch of preset settings that you can customize, like how you want the wrapper to work. You can configure it a little bit. When I was using this, I used it with AVP2 and Primal Hunt with MSP and DigiVoodoo 2. Sounds wordy, but hope you're following along. It did give me a performance boost, especially with Primal Hunt. So I had, like, with MSP and DigiVoodoo 2 on Primal Hunt, I got around 30 FPS, and it gave me a boost to like 60 FPS. But with AVP2, it didn't work as well. So you got to play around. It's another, your mileage may vary type of thing. But try not using this until after you install Master Server Patch. And if you're still having performance issues, try DG Voodoo 2. Try Master Server Patch with Canon Master's Fix alone. I mean, together, those two without DG Voodoo 2. And then try with all three. See whichever gives you the best bang for your buck, if you will. Even though it's all free. And another one, if you get game resources different, the more you'll see this when you're trying to join a multiplayer game. And if the server's running a custom map or a mod, and you don't have the mod or map running, you would need that running, the same mod or map running in your command line. And if it's not running, then you'll get this error. So if you just check out the server list, again, I'll pull up Master Server Patch website. You go to the server list, and you'll see what's running. So like here's VRM mod. You scroll down, AVP unknown is running payback time, that mod. You'll see other mods being run. Sometimes they're not mods, they're just game modes in game that was like customized settings, like sentry guns and stuff like that. But you'll see like this one, avpunknown.com suck maps or sook maps. It's always an interesting name for that. You'll need those maps to play on these servers. So you'll see suck, stronghold, primal hunt. So you will not be able to join this server unless you have that map. So Master Server Patch has some of the suck maps. I think all of them actually. If UMP3 will have all the custom maps like you see here, Arc Station, etc., Acid Reflux. You'll have to get UMP3. I'll show you that in the next video. And here's another one, how to use the torch and hacking tool, which was disabled in Primal Hunt. Master Server Patch does bring these features back into the game. I did do a video how to bring them back into Primal Hunt. This was before Master Server Patch included it. So I figured out the way to do it via the auto exec file. But you can do this with Master Server Patch. Will restore it. It just adds a different key binding for it. I don't know why third law disabled it. It was pretty stupid. But because if you're playing some custom maps, you'll actually need these tools. But in the regular single player game for Primal Hunt, you don't need them. But there you go. So in the next video, I'm going to show you more stuff on custom content and how to enjoy mods, maps, and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more Alien vs. Predator 2 stuff and follow along in the guide. Happy hunting.